Good morning, my fellow thrivers and survivors. I am so grateful to be here. It's been quite a bit of time that I have come on live, and today I have my very special guest, Sharon, with me. But before I bring her on, because we're going to be talking about, COVID fatigue. It's been over a year that we've been in this place, and I wanted to chat with her in terms of, yes, people are feeling fatigued, but if we stay and talk about the problem, then we, in my belief, it's that, we make that problem get bigger. But can we talk about, how people have been coping? What have you been doing to really stay in a positive mindset or helping others stay in a positive place? And really being part of the solution is where our freedom lies. And I wanted to talk to Sharon about it because I think she has a very unique perspective, and she always comes with some solutions, some strategies that we can implement that can help all of us. And I think for me, that's been the biggest thing, is to reach out to people like Sharon when things don't look great, or, I've had chats with her. So if you are watching this, please let us know you're here. Say hello. I'm going to bring Sharon on, and we're going to get this conversation started because we do want to hear from you of how you've been coping through the past year of COVID. So let's bring her on and get this conversation started. Good morning, Sharon. Welcome.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
It's been a while.
It has. It's spring, so it's time to refresh and renew.
Yes, absolutely. And I love the tulips in the back because I think that is a sign of spring. But today's conversation, I think, is a very important one because we have now passed the 1 year mark. And COVID fatigue, from the people I'm talking to, has set in very much so in terms of, mental health, their physical health, their businesses, their family life. And I wanted to really talk to you about what all of this means. And so can you sort of shed some light as to, like, in your perspective, what do you think has happened for people over this past year and where they're at, in terms of not seeing some sort of light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, I think one of the things that's happening to people is we're in constant transition or in constant flux. And as human beings, we love to have like the status quo. However, our greatest strength is our flexibility and our resilience. And I think that that's one of the things that's really showing through right now, even though we are sort of feel like we don't have our feet underneath us, because every time we turn around, there's a new lockdown, there's a new rule, there's a new virus, and we're often starting to develop some signs of some not just sadness, but maybe some depression, some feelings of that you're not able to cope. And so what I want to talk about is some ways to cope with what's going on. And a caveat to that is, if you're feeling really bad, if you're feeling that you want to hurt yourself or someone else, go to the emergency room. These measures are for people that are just feeling that they need some coping strategies, right?
And I think that's the awareness piece. Like, if you aren't feeling great, I mean, I know that, for me, reaching out to people like you, just having a chat sometimes alleviates it. But from others, it may be even deeper than that. And I think it's time, because a year has gone by, I think people might be feeling alone and isolated, that maybe it's just them that they're feeling that. And I think that's something that we have to acknowledge, kind of be aware of our people in our circles and kind of check in and make sure, everything's okay. A phone call, a text, something with our friends and family, just to ensure that they know that you're there. Now, I don't want to say that, you want to bombard people, by getting into their space when they don't want you there. But I just mean checking in so that they know in case they do need to reach out. And I want to actually point something out here, where you actually jumped in when I wasn't feeling great a couple of weeks ago. And you actually messaged me and said, hey, do you want to chat? Because even that offering was better for me. It worked out better for me because I had too much, like, I don't want to say pride, but I didn't want to kind of bother you or bother anybody, or I felt like, well, I don't want to really put that on someone else, when you're feeling that kind of low feeling of sadness. But when you reached out and said, hey, do you want to chat? And I thought, what a great way, an opening for me to take you up on that and say, yeah, you know what? I would really like to have a chat with you. It would make me feel better, right? So I think for people to kind of know that we have circles, we have our friend circles, we have people that really do care out there, and to reach out. Sometimes it's hard for people, you know?
Sometimes it is. And keep reaching out, even if the person says, no, I'm good, I can't talk right now. Continue to reach out, because they will still feel that somebody out there cares about them and that they're not alone.
Yeah.
So I try to reach out to someone every week. It's something that I do just to let people know that, you know, they're not alone. And it does amazing things for my self-esteem and my self-worth as well, because I know that I'm getting to talk to someone, I'm catching up, we're feeling better about each other and about ourselves. And it makes each day a little bit easier.
Yeah. And I think that's the key, right? Like there's benefits on both sides, but I love the fact that you're saying you make it like a conscious decision where you're reaching out once a week or to somebody. Like if you are called, and what I've, you know, recently one of my mentors had posted something that said, if you pop into my mind 3 times, it's time for me to reach out. There's something there that is calling me to talk to you. And I don't mean all negative, you know, sometimes it's just somebody celebrating something and you just didn't catch it and you're thinking about them. So I've really taken that on. If somebody pops into my head 3 times, it's just for me to be aware that, okay, it's time to reach out and just say something or ask, or, you know, just send even just a heart emoji to say, I'm thinking of you. Right. So I think these are all just energetic signs that are coming towards us. And if we're aware of them, then we kind of tap into it, you know, because I think there's always these downloads coming, these messages coming, and sometimes we're too busy to notice. But I've really taken that on. And it's funny, this morning, I actually messaged somebody before our broadcast because she had popped into my head 3 times in the last 24 hours. And I'm like, okay, there's something that's calling me. So tell me sort of what kinds of things have you kind of seen at work, even simple things, not just reaching out, but what can people do to just feel better, even just quickly, like if there was something that was happening in the day?
That's something to keep in mind, is looking at the small things. The big things, they blow up in your face very often, whatever. It's the small things. Little things like watching a child play. Have you ever, just smiled? Like I was talking earlier yesterday, I was driving down the road and I saw this little toddler on the sidewalk, and just her toddling, she just made me so happy. I started smiling and I had this really big smile on my face. And then I look up and I see the dad, and he's looking at me, and he's got a big smile on his face too. And it all happened because of this little toddler who's probably maybe 2 years old. So look around for the little things that make you happy. It's a beautiful time. Go for a walk and look at all of the spring flowers. Spring flowers make everyone happy. That's why I have tulips in my home.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, right? Like if you go out looking, there's lots to be grateful for, to admire, to feel that kind of release in your heart. Sometimes, though, I think what happens is you get so caught up in all of the big things that are blowing up or the stuff we can't control, right? Like, I mean, and I don't want to downplay any of the circumstances people are going through right now, because it's rough. Like people with job loss, people with health issues, not just COVID, but just other things that are happening. This is a tough time. And so I don't want to downplay any of that. I just feel like there is some things that people can look for to just raise that vibration a little bit, give that bit of release, a little bit of space for breathing, taking that deep breath.
Yeah, it is. And it's what it is when you focus on the small things and you allow the small things to bring you some happiness and some hope, then you can bring them into the other places of your life. And what happens to us sometimes is we get so down that we can't see. Think of an example is, say someone has a small business, and things are really tough and they're working really hard and they feel like they're a hamster on a wheel, just spinning their wheels, and things aren't happening for them. Focusing on the little things that make you happy helps produce and recreate your creativity. Once your creativity and your juices start to flow, then you can start to think outside the box. And once you start thinking outside the box, then, you know, there's possibility.
Yeah.
And with possibility becomes great hope. And with possibility becomes new adventures.
Yeah. And I think that excitement, the feeling that you're creating something that, and I think when we do slow down a little bit in terms of just catching our breaths and that, and wait, and having that creativity come out as opposed to the fear, then you're more apt to taking action, because really you can have a great idea, but without action, it's nothing's going to happen. But if you can be in a place of excitement, of that new idea or a new way of doing business, because right now I think people are suffering on many levels or feeling the fear on many levels.
Exactly.
It's not just personal, it's not just mental health, it's not just physical health. You know, there's businesses going that are having difficulty. There are family members that are suffering, even though maybe perhaps I'm doing okay, but my brother or sister may not be doing well. Maybe there's job loss, right? So I think to be aware and to help others, but also you can create your own space of energetic, of being highly energetic, because other people can draw from that, right?
It's
Misery loves company, right? We know that. So, you know, we have a lot of people that kind of will talk about all the stuff that's going wrong. And the more people that get together and do that, the more you're actually giving that force to grow.
exactly. It's like you're reinstalling the negative. So let's install the positive. And and one of the things to remember, that it's very hard to remember right now because we're all outside our comfort zone every day, is life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. So if we can take that small sentence and apply it, saying, wow, we are living, you know, in a time where, yeah, the craziness is going on, but really it's life. And as it's fearful, but it's exciting at the same time. If you think about the feelings that you have in your stomach when you're afraid and the feelings you have in your stomach when you're really excited, they're very similar feelings. And it's difficult as it might be, it's understanding that there's that little flip there. It's a little flip.
Yeah.
And you may need help. Talk to someone, you know, about your fears, and talk about how you can flip them and find the good and the positive. And you know that old saying, there's a silver lining in every cloud. Well, look for that silver lining. And that silver lining might be a small child walking down the street, or someone's beautiful flowers in their front yard, or maybe you see someone helping another person.
Yeah. I think that I love what you said. Like, you know, everything sort of that's going to be great for us is just outside of that comfort zone. I do want to kind of say, you know, for a lot of people, you know, it is that taking that first step, right, out of that comfort zone. But, you know, for everything we're losing, or we feel like we're losing right now based on, you know, our family time and connections, and I think there's a birth of something new, just like seasons show us, right? That when one thing ends, there's a new beginning of something else. And so if we can kind of take this mindset of this COVID period is perhaps making room for a birthing of something new, something more beneficial to not just us, ourselves, our communities, but for mankind. And I want to kind of look at it as that, as a larger picture, because then it makes me feel like, you know what? Yes, we have to go through this, because like you said, we are resilient, and we become more resilient as we go through challenges and see what we're capable of doing. So I love that, you know, for people that are watching, on replay, you know, look sort of at your fears and see what is really why is it holding you back? Like, is it the fear of success? Is it the fear of the unknown, where what if you take that step and you fail? Like, there's so many things, right? So can you guide me through, or guide us through, sort of some strategies on what we could do to take that next step?
Well, like you said, start small. Do something nice for someone else, because when you send out that vibration, you give it back to yourself, so you feel better. Like I said, talk to people. You know, you want to start a new project, but you don't know how. Find somebody that knows how. You need help setting it up. Find someone to help you. And because money is an issue for many people, maybe you can work out a trade.
Right.
You know, there is ways of doing that. Talk to someone every day.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing. Like, I love that, right? Like, talk to someone that may have done it already, or maybe it's just a few steps ahead of you
Mhm.
and can guide you, right? So, I mean, there's lots out there, of course, the online world. I mean, there's so much going on, but really finding somebody that's doing it or has done it is going to help you move further along faster.
Exactly. And smile. It's really important that we smile. When you smile, it not only changes your face, it alerts centers in your brain to send out your happy hormones.
Yeah. And I want to make a point of this. So, you know, we were talking in another group where everyone's wearing a mask now, right? When you're outside. And so the connection is different because you're just seeing their eyes. But we were talking about how important it is to, even behind the mask, to smile,
It's
because people can see, they can feel that vibration of that smile, even though they can't see it. And it's so important, right? Because your face lights up when you smile. There's an energy that happens, an energy exchange that happens.
exactly, and it shows in your eyes.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, if you're frowning,
Yeah.
when you smile, like your whole face lifts up and your eyes open, and or they squint depending on your smile, but it shows and people know you're smiling.
Yeah.
And
So even with the mask, I want to just encourage people, like, oh, don't just say, oh, no one can see my smile anyways, who cares? Even if you're not smiling at someone, if you're walking down the road, just smile, just keep smiling.
Mhm.
Just because that is going to change, right? Like you said, it'll release happy hormones, and there's something going on in the brain when we're even doing the simple gesture of a smile. So I know these sound simple. For people that are watching this may think, well, these are such simple things, but sometimes we look for the complicated stuff, the big stuff, and we forget how important these little things are that could truly make a big difference.
I think it was Albert Einstein who once said that the brilliant man is one that can make it simple.
Right. Right.
And it's one of those things to keep going back to, is making it simple. The other thing is give thanks for little things. Give thanks. Always be grateful. Even if you're having a really hard time, be grateful. I am grateful that I have this beautiful mug that my mother gave me. I am grateful for something small. Be grateful. And the other thing is congratulate yourself. It's important that you celebrate the small things. So you know what? You went outside and you cleaned your yard. Celebrate it. You did it. You cleaned your house and you haven't done it in a while because, like, why? We don't have any company. Celebrate that. Celebrate that.
Yeah, I think the small wins are the ones that really make a big difference, especially at this time when we're not really going out much, we're not seeing people, and there's nobody there to pat you on your back, right? So this is where you take control and you have to pat yourself. And I have to tell you, I cleaned out my kitchen cupboards 2 weeks ago. And the feeling every time now when I open that cupboard is still giving me that joy that, oh my God, these cupboards look incredible. And I would never have had the time had I been busy running around like a crazy chicken without her head or whatever. So I just think that is part of us all being normal and, in our own spaces, but feeling sometimes the same, right? So doing these things helps us all, even if it's little things.
Even if it's little things, you're right. And that's something to keep in mind. Congratulate yourself, celebrate, look for the small stuff, and be grateful for just every moment. I'm grateful that I'm alive every minute of the day, because let's face it, the opposite's not great.
Yeah, well, then that's the end of you enjoying all the other things that life has to offer, right? So I think overall, everyone's feeling this some level of COVID fatigue, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that isn't.
Right. And so it's really time to figure out what strategies can you really take on that can help you, because we have to take control of our own emotions and our own actions and reactions. And this is really teaching us that, like, when we're looking for external approval or external fame, whatever, like that, other people telling us how great job we're doing, it's time to really acknowledge it for ourselves, right? To be able to say, you know what, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, and that's it. And acknowledge yourself, and acknowledge the people in your life, acknowledge your neighbors, and talk to someone. Keep talking to people.
Yeah. And I think that's the message now, is really connecting with people, even through Zoom or a phone call or a text message. There's such an importance in realizing that connection, of how important that is for all of us. We are social beings and we have circles, and I think we need to tap into them. So now we're almost close to the end of this. I know you're going to do something with us, so tell us.
I want to do a visualization, and the visualization is going to be about finding that one simple thing that helps to make you happy. So I'd like everyone to close your eyes, please, and take a nice deep breath in and out. And the next deep breath, I want you to think of everything is brightening up and out. And another deep breath in. And I want you to feel a beautiful sunny day on your face. And now I want you to go back in your mind and imagine a beautiful day. It's just lovely and sunny. And you're just out doing something that you love to do, going for a walk, sitting on the beach. And I want you to put your face up, feel that sun on your face. And think of something that makes you smile. Now you're thinking about that thing. I want you to smile in real life. Smile, that's it. A nice big smile. And I want you to run that movie in your head. The activity, the situation that gives you that happiness. The one that you're grateful for, even though it's a little thing. And you can feel that smile spreading not only on your face, but on the faces of the people around you. And I want you to feel the feelings and see the results. And those feelings start with your smile, and they go through your face and down your body into your heart and into your stomach and your legs. And you feel that wonderful feeling and the brightness and the joy. Just stay here and enjoy these feelings and enjoy your smile and the movie, the positive movie of the little thing that creates so much joy in your life. Now you can feel the sun beating down on your face. And it's time for you to come back. When you're ready, open your eyes. So that took about, what, minute and a half, 2 minutes? And tell me, how does that make you feel?
Do you know, it was like just a release, right? It was almost like getting out of reality for a little bit of time. And I was able to visualize immediately when you said go to a place, and it was like the beach and the sun and the water, and that's what gives me joy. So it's a great place to kind of land.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that we can do. It only takes a minute or two, and we can do it as many times during the day as you like, to bring you back to being grateful and understanding that the joy doesn't come from the big things. It comes from all of the little things that add up.
Yeah. And I think that's beautiful. I mean, I love this, that, we're talking about this, because I think people need to find a way to feel better, and it doesn't cost money. It doesn't mean, you have to do anything elaborate, but you can take control of those couple of minutes, snippets in the day when you can kind of pull back and just say, I'm going to take 2 minutes. I'm just going to visualize something that I love, right? So thank you for sharing that. I love it. I think that, every time we have this chat, it makes me feel better, just even chatting. So
Me too. I love coming and chatting with you and exploring all of these things. And my goal is that someone out there is going to be helped by this, and hopefully.
Exactly. And I think that's it. Like, we've missed a little bit of time, but we come once a month. For those of you watching, whether it's live or on replay, Sharon and I talk once a month, and we bring in different things, different strategies. So please join us. Typically first Thursday of each month. Thank you, Sharon. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend and a beautiful spring. Thanks for all the stuff that you do for us, and just being there. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I love being here, and thank you for having me again. And I'll see everyone next month.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So I hope you enjoyed that. I think that, for all of us, we're all looking for ways to just feel better. Just know that you're not alone. If you need to reach out to Sharon or myself, you can DM us at any time, whether it's through Facebook Messenger, or you want to reach out to us on email, whatever, however you want to get a hold of us. We're here, and I want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend, and let's hope for some really good weather so we can enjoy the outdoors. Remember to be safe and be kind to yourself and others. I'll see you next month.